Oh, and I think I'm live. Let's double check. You know, I always love to make sure. We'll go to the Janome Canada Facebook page. I should be live to Janome Canada Facebook and the Janome HQ YouTube channel. So let's hope. Yes, it always takes a little delay for that notification. uh, but at least I think it's working. There was me yesterday on Janome. There I am. But at least there I am. Okay. I always have to double check. You know, I'm a one-man show here, so I always have to double check. I'll turn that phone off. Yay! So we're back live, and mainly I am back live. Fabulous with the Janome Canada Facebook and Sew4Home Facebook Live. I am so excited to be back. It's been a while since I've been here. Luckily, our fabulous Janome Canada educator Tobias has been filling in for me while I've been away. I'm so glad, though, to be back with you all. And I see Deb is here. Oh, also from Collingwood, Ontario. Yes, it is wonderful to see you all. Oh, and Claudia is here from North Carolina. Oh, that's fabulous. Again, this is the wonderful thing about technology when it works correctly, is that, again, it can connect us all over the world. And yesterday, when I did my Janome Canada Instagram Live, I had Janome Chile join us, Janome Argentina, a lady from Mexico tuned in. Like, isn't that amazing? All around the globe, sharing the Janome love, which I love to do. And yes, we are back live at Janome Canada Facebook and also streaming live to the Janome HQ YouTube channel. So if you don't have Facebook, you can still join into the fun. Oh, and Carol's here. Hello. Thank you, Carol. It is very great to be back. It was definitely way longer than anticipated, but as they say, better late than never. So definitely, it's wonderful to be back. So thank you, everyone, for joining me today. I am Michael Smith, the National Education Manager of Janome Canada, and yes, back live from my palatial estate here in Collingwood on a very snowy day. But luckily, again, I always say just stay inside and sew. And fortunately, this afternoon, we will definitely have some fabulous company with our fabulous, if I remember how to do this, we'll bring on the lady of the hour. There we go. Liz Johnson from Sew4Home. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello to everybody. Very happy to be back with my good friend Michael.
Thank you. Yes, it seems like forever. Yes, but you look wonderful as always. So
as do you. And we have lots of fun things to talk about. You know, we were trying to figure out, okay, it's our first time back together. What do we really want to talk about? And kind of decided that it would be nice to do a little bit kind of a recap, because sometimes we get so much content that's happening and it's just like flying out there faster than we can all catch it. So it's good sometimes, I think, to kind of stop and remember and kind of call attention to some of the things that you guys can find on the Janome Canada website. Plus, I've brought a few pictures with me from just Sew4Home that underscores some of our techniques as well, because we're talking today about embellishment. And that covers
love that.
a wide range of things, And the only caution I would have to any of this is what I think, and you chime in, Michael, but I think what is the coolest thing about different types of embellishment is it's just that cherry on top, that icing on the cake, that little bit that can just make a project come to life, you know.
Yeah,
and
agreed. And a little goes a long way. Don't think you got to embellish the whole piece of fabric, or if it's a garment, you got to embellish the whole garment. A little decorative stitch around the collar or a pocket can just elevate that garment, or again, your tote bag or whatever. It can just elevate it into that more designer category.
That is exactly what I believe as well. And so I pulled out some of our exclusive Janome Canada projects, and I know Michael will put up a link in the chat as we go
Yeah.
along. And so but it's very easy to find. They're all just very easy to navigate to on janome.ca. But one thing that I wanted to emphasize is that because of the precision that you can get with Janome machines and using the wide range of specialty feet, things like top stitching, precise top stitching in like a contrasting color, to me, that is embellishment. That is a style choice. And the Janome stitch precision is what makes that possible on so many things. And this is as you go through them, this is our jumbo tote, and it is so jumbo, I can hardly get
Yes.
all of it on the screen. But you can see that because we can rely on the feeding system, the wonderful feeding system that keeps, even like, this is canvas, this is like heavy duty, but it keeps it feeding beautifully. So you can still get that precise edge stitching. You've got the box stitch here. So you can do that type of stuff in a contrasting color. And to me, that is as much embellishment as, maybe pulling out a decorative stitch.
Well,
But
and if I could just jump in and say, there are lots of extra Janome presser
oh my
feet. They
gosh,
may have come with your machine, but oh yes, things like our 1/4-inch foot, for example, that maybe has a guide. I love a foot with a guide. I need all
yes,
the help I can get to sew straight, especially
definitely.
fast. So maybe, oh, the ditch quilting foot is the S foot, but it's got this rudder down this middle, the guide. So you could adjust your needle position to get that perfect edge stitching a 1/16 of an eighth or an eighth of an inch away, a 1/4 of an inch,
Hey,
even the S, this is the S foot, the ditch quilting foot with the large rudder down the middle. This is the G foot, which is the blind hem foot.
yeah,
So, but
people
we
don't.
could move our needle and do it for edge stitching. So maybe there's a foot you already have with your Janome machine that'll give you that precise top stitching and edge stitching, or of course they're available from your Janome dealer.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you brought up that blind hem foot because that one is,
Yes,
I
the
think that's
D
with
foot.
every machine. I mean,
Yep,
even like
almost. Yeah.
entry-level machines, you'll get that blind hem foot. And so being able to use it as a guide is a wonderful idea. But I would say, in investing, it's like they're hundreds of dollars or not, but investing in specialty presser feet, that makes all the difference. Because like you said, you can go faster, you can make
Yes.
it more
More accurate.
precise.
Yes.
It just is so great. And I think people will probably remember these beautiful,
Oh, yes.
the octomats, but again, that precision stitching and the quilting in this, you don't think about that, but that's really embellishment as well. And
And
deciding
functional. Yeah.
on the pattern that you want to work with. But then, of course, we move into decorative stitching. And, I think a lot of people think of that as your step, maybe just below embroidery. And so this adorable apron, this I think is one of the first projects that we did with you guys. It's exclusive on Janome Canada. And it's just so fun. It's like
It's
patterns on
really
the
cute.
back. The front is just a rainbow that's made from a charm square pack. But you can see we added just a little bit of tone on tone decorative stitch embroidery along the waistband, and then also again
Oh, where are
along
we?
the pocket. So
There we
it's
are.
just those little touches that really make the difference when you're working with decorative stitching. So yeah, Michael gave you a little sneak peek there.
Oh, yes. I'm like, oh, I'm still getting used to doing this all again.
I
Yeah,
know, it's
a
crazy.
little sneak peek. But yes, when we talk about decorative stitches, before actually we get into that slide, I'll just show, oh, yes, again, is there a foot? Sure, we
Is
have
that
our F2 foot that comes with, again, almost every machine, or
fun?
certainly available for almost every machine, is our satin stitch foot, a clear foot that has the little groove on the underside to allow all those typically more dense decorative stitches to pass through. Well, then we've got the open toe satin stitch foot, so there's no bar getting in the way. So again, great visibility with that.
Mhm.
Or then, yes, there's always more. The fabulous, ooh,
The
this is the border guide foot. that has these little red bars on it, so you can do rows and rows and rows of stitching without having to mark your fabric. You just follow the lines that are on the edge guide foot, the border guide foot, and that'll give you those beautiful even rows of consistent decorative stitches. Super simple. This is a again, specialty foot from your Janome dealer. It is fabulous. So there's a foot for every purpose.
There really is, and use it. Use it. Look at what's out there, and by all means, do not be afraid to open up that little plastic bag.
Oh, yes, exactly. And again, we probably can't see there. The back of the blister pack is a fountain of information. And then, of course, we have our Janome Life blog with lots of information all about these extra specialty presser feet, or go back to the Janome HQ YouTube channel. I've done a lot of videos on a lot of the specialty presser feet. So there's always resources to learn how to use all this stuff out there too. So yeah.
Once you've finished your cute little half apron with that decorative stitching, you can look around at what we have at Sew4Home. This is what we call the Scandinavian style rustic apron. It's got little raw edges here and there on the different trims, but rows and rows and rows of decorative stitching. But again, not over the top. You know, it's just a nice wide stack of stitches there on the pocket, and then a little bit across the bib, and some joining stitches there across the seam from the top of the bib to the bottom of the bib. And that's what I would take a look at too, is really have fun with and practice your stitches before you jump onto your main fabric. And make sure that you love the color, that the color is going to be just what you want, and that the spacing is going to be just what you want.
I think definitely some test stitches are in order. Take your little scrap of fabric and do your little test stitches. Definitely. That's very good advice.
It makes all the difference. So if we go to the next slide, what we have is, again, a couple different options here. We've used the handbag here. You can see that we not only have decorative stitching along the pocket, along the upper part of the bag, but it's running all the way up and down this strap. And what we always also did there, it's a little bit harder to see in this picture, but there's also some metallic cording that we used a decorative stitch to hold it in place on that beautiful strap on the bag. And then our sewing machine cover, it is a great excuse to use a whole bunch of decorative stitches. And I always think, and this is a super popular, it's probably one of the most popular machine covers that we have on the site, but they're right there. So it's like you've got your machine covered up, and then as you go to take it off, it reminds you, I wonder if I could use decorative stitches on this one. So I think that's it's a fun little reminder. And then if we move to the next one, we have, again, some beautiful rows of stitching. We call these our Moroccan kitchen towels, with just some repetitive lines there. And it's nice because you can go back and forth, and just by varying the color of your stitches, it brings them all together and it makes a beautiful coordinated set. And then next to it, there is our sampler pillow. And again, a little bit like the sewing machine cover, this is a great way to pull some of your favorite stitches and make them into a pillow. So once again, it's reminding you, you're looking at these stitches. And I want to emphasize too, that what we do is we sewed that together down the diagonal, and then we stitched out from the diagonal to one side, and then from the diagonal down the other way. So that makes that perfect corner that otherwise might be a little bit challenging when you're working with decorative stitches. So that's a little sneak there that we do. So if we move from decorative stitching, I kind of am walking up the embellishment ladder here. Then we have monograms. And I think a lot of times, I know I'm even guilty of this when we're talking about what we want to embellish a project with. I kind of forget that monograms are part of the whole embroidery family, but I love the options that you get with the Janome built-in monograms. They're really beautiful. The classic frames that you see on here, we have a lunch bag. I think that's a great way. That's a way to say, hey, buddy, that's my peanut butter and jelly in there. You're not taking it. So we've got a monogram on our lunch bag. But on this roll-up clutch is another monogram. And it's just the classic style. You can choose the font that you want to work with. For the interior, you can use the frame to echo what's going on with the rest of your project. So don't forget about those monograms. They can be used on so many things. We've even used them on shoes. Do you remember, Michael, when making shoes, making like espadrilles? That was like a real thing for a while there. And we kind of got on that
I
bandwagon.
must say that's a little before my time, but I do know those shoes. I'm
But
sure my sisters and my mother had those shoes, but I didn't embroider them.
But so many things that you can use them for. And it's really
Oh,
just
absolutely.
fun way to personalize. And I think based on what I've seen of the manufacturers out there, Janome really does an excellent job of giving you a wide variety of flexibility in how to stitch out those monograms.
Oh, agreed. There's a number of different frames, shapes, and
Mhm.
then you can do 2-letter or 3-letter monograms. So you
Mhm.
definitely have some flexibility there.
It's really wonderful. So then we're going to keep moving up the food chain and we're going to go to full on embroidery. And these are a couple built-in embroidery designs. So the beautiful medallion, and I just love how that otherwise is a very classic, a very simple and sleek handbag. We used, that's actually a skinny belt that we cut and turned into the handle. So again, it gives it that really sleek, modern look to it. And we used just a tone on tone, just a single color embroidery on the front of it, and then echoed that same color with that little strip of piping that's along the pocket front. So it just is taking that. I mean, you could do that medallion in a number of colors. I've forgotten now how many colors it actually is specified, but we stitched the whole thing out in just a single color, and it makes just a really stunning statement. And then the cross stitch apron, I have been amazed from the get-go with the detail that the Janome cross stitch designs have. They're really, really, really beautiful. And it was something, again, that just a single design like that makes all the difference. There's a little bit, I don't know if you can see it, kind of at the bottom of the apron there. There is a wide wraparound pocket that has, again, just a little decorative stitching. We just used an X decorative stitch, so it kind of mirrors what's going on with the cross stitch. So again, just kind of like ripping open that little plastic bag that came with all, all your amazing presser feet. Really dig into what is in your Janome embroidery machine or sewing and embroidery machine and what built-in designs are there. There's just so many. On some of them, it can kind of just be overwhelming, but if you can take the time to go through and then take the time to envision them maybe in a slightly different way, like we did with the medallion, taking a multicolored design, you can stitch it out in just one color. And it's so intuitive using the Janome tools for embroidery to make that happen. So you've got your built-in, and then the last one here is you've got your custom designs. And so we call this our Mountain Sunrise pillow. And that is a free design that you can download from Sew4Home. Just search on Mountain Sunrise. And again, it's the precision of that Janome stitching that makes it so beautiful. I mean, every single time. So if we come back to Michael and Liz live,
There.
there we are. We're back again.
I must say, I'm loving the comments. I've been posting a few as they're coming, and everybody's loving those aprons. What a great way. Again, a great place to use decorative stitches. Again, they could be very sparingly, as you showed in your examples. But as Susan said, that cross stitch apron, wow, it looks like it's done by hand. Well, that's the precision of the embroidery. But you know, the cross stitches are built into a number of our Janome machines as decorative stitches. So
Mhm.
you can join up those cross stitches to create, shapes like a heart, that again traditionally was all done by hand. Well, now we can kind of cheat and use our Janome machines. It's wonderful.
Oh, and it is so precise. It's one of those things that, I think watching the Janome machines embroider is always just like mesmerizing. But
Agreed. Yes, exactly. You can walk away and do other things, but most of the time, even I sit here and go,
oh my God,
wow,
look at
that's really
that.
amazing.
But
Yes.
the cross stitch, I think, is pretty amazing. So I pulled not every single embroidery design that is available for you to download free from
That's a good
janome.ca.
emphasis. Free on janome.ca. It's there. Now, I did post some links in the comments and I have been
Oh, good.
showing them. So, again, everybody just jump on janome.ca. You can go to the Inspire tab, go for the Sew4Home tab, and there are all the project pairings. Those are all the exclusive Janome Canada projects, all the embroidery designs for free at your fingertips.
And I think we do a really good job with making it as easy as possible. You'll get the designs. We also have thread charts, we have stitch charts, so it makes it real easy. These little guys, to me, this is a kind of a reminder of
So cute.
embroidery as art. So we actually, this is our little stained glass puppy and our stained glass kitty. Super, super detailed. We use them, as you can see, in just a hand embroidery hoop of something that you could hang on the wall, your favorite kitties and puppies, but would also be beautiful on a towel, on a pillow front, on a larger tote bag. But again, these are free projects and they've been up there for a little while. These are guys that I kind of forget about sometimes. And then remember, I said monogramming. Monogramming is part of embroidery, and this is an adorable, look at that little adorable zip pouch that you're going to learn some classic techniques like the piping and the corners and how to do the end tabs on your zipper, how to do a little wrist thing. But of course, right on the front is your custom embroidery design. One thing that I think it's kind of like what I was mentioning in the medallion on the front of that really cool modern purse. What you choose to use for your thread and how you implement it makes all the difference. And so this is our Queen Bee set of embroidery designs that are available on Janome Canada. And this is done, it's probably hard to see. Can you tell that that's a beautiful metallic? It's a silver metallic thread on a beautiful dark gray linen. And so here you have something that is very classic, very luxurious. This would be beautiful on a pillow front or even on, it would be really pretty on a set of very elegant curtains. But then change up the color, change up the look, and it makes just a super fun and really cute kitchen towel. Look at that. Now we just did it in a bright pink and it's super fun. Just used it as a little border. And so you can completely change what the feel is of any embroidery design. So that makes it so great. You can use it again and again and again. And then, of course, there is our Hobby Patch collection. And there are 7 of these, where there's 7 of them. Every single one is there, how to stitch it out as a patch, goes through all of your favorite hobbies. And what's kind of cool is, of course, we're showing them as patches that then you can stitch out and put on kind of whatever you might want. But then you can also, and I don't know if you have any of yours there, Michael. I know you embroidered right onto a wall hanging. So they don't have to be on a patch. You can certainly embroider them right onto, front of a pair of overalls.
Oh, yes, I had done. It's not with me, near me, of course. I have the individual patches, but yes, I had taken actually, the sewing machine patch, though, that I, of course, fell in love with the most. And yes, I put it on a big piece of felt, and I actually used the editing capabilities that are in every Janome embroidery machine, that we can make our designs bigger or smaller. We can duplicate them, rotate them all around, do whatever we want basically to them. Just change the thread colors, we do whatever. So I had made a big wall hanging, yes, with a bigger sewing machine in the middle, and then I had the smaller machine, in each corner. And then oh, what did I say, with the fonts that are also built into every Janome embroidery machine. I had something like every day is a sewing day or something like that. I'd have to go back and look what I did, because again, the beauty of all of these too, not only they're beautiful patches, everything is done perfectly, digitized beautifully, full instructions as well are on the website,
Right.
but then they live there forever. So again, as Liz was saying, our lives are so busy now. We're constantly doing more, and at times maybe, life gets in the way and maybe you missed a month of the hobby patches. Well, they're there on janome.ca. You will find them. So it doesn't matter kind of when, if you're late to the party, they're there. So you can download them all and stitch them out whenever is convenient for you.
All right. So there we go. That was embellishment 101.
In a whirlwind, as always, because the time just races by. Of course, we could go on forever.
Oh
But again, I would say, well, we'll just have to do this again.
I guess we will.
Yes.
We will.
Speaking of which, will be, I think it was March 21st, the
Mhm.
third
Right.
Thursday of the month. This one was a little early because, February 1st fell early. So
Right. Right.
based on the calendar, whatever. So yeah, I think it's March 21st. Should be the first day of spring, right? Let's
Oh,
hope
that would
so.
be so great. That's right.
Yes, because now we're getting snow all day. Meanwhile, we haven't had snow for a month, but I see it now and I'm going, oh, I don't want the snow. So should be March 21st at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Pacific. We're joining back live for another presentation. And what we're going to talk about, I would say, well, it's a mystery. It's a sneak peek. So you must tune in.
You must tune in. It probably will be a sneak peek because we are working and on another exclusive project. And
Oh,
I think,
perfect.
we can kind of at least hint on the fact that since we are going to be talking on that first day of spring,
Oh,
we have a shaped pillow. We have our flower power pillows that
oh, I'm all for flowers.
we're going to celebrate spring, and we're going to use some fun decorative stitching. So this kind of
Fantastic.
led up to that and shows you different ways to use it. But yeah, just remember, there's a lot here that we ran through, but I would just echo what Michael said, is that just a little bit, just that little bit of touch makes all the difference in the world. So dig into those presser feet, make sure you have the right foot for the job, makes all the difference in the
Oh,
world.
agreed. Yes, yes. And if you think, oh, I don't want to, invest in it, but I think, in your kitchen, yes, you could mix that cake batter, with a fork or a whisk.
Right.
But isn't it a whole lot easier and quicker, at least if you've got the electric beaters, or then you get up into the, KitchenAid mixers and all of that. Like, if you have specialty equipment,
Right.
it makes it so much faster, easier, professional results. It's well worth the investment. Susan says, yes, great to see the dynamic duo together again, for sharing their love of Janome with us. Awesome projects.
Oh, thank you, Susan.
So yes, the comments have been wonderful. Again, earlier, Arturo had and I'll post it again. Liz, you do such amazing work,
Oh,
beautiful
thank you.
projects.
Well, I'm more than happy to just absorb all the compliments, but we also have an amazing team of talented sewists and digitizers and artists and
Yes.
photographers. So
And full
everybody,
color photography, by the
yes,
way, when you
yeah,
go onto the Sew4Home tab and Janome.ca, all the instructions step by step. You go to sew4home.com to find even more projects, more instruction, more about Janome presser feet as well. You've done a ton of
mhm,
reviews of those, full color photos every step of the way. So there's no guesswork. So
yeah.
that's another reason why we all love Sew4Home.
That's why we love our Genomes. They make everything look super good. So,
Yes, and we've had just to post here again as we're wrapping up, all the way, Monica's from Germany.
oh,
So,
hello.
yeah, so we've had a few from the States and, of course, lots from Canada. But yes, I think how fabulous, even across Canada as well. We've got Jean from out west and a few from northern Ontario, and we're getting some snow here. But yes, also from another fellow from Washington State. So,
All right. So
yeah,
that's very close to me.
yes, exactly. So
That,
I love it. Or how about, yes, North Carolina? So again, I love it when technology can bring us all together. And yes, to share the love of sewing, the love of Janome, the love of Sew4Home. Yes, I love to share in the love. Even though it's a day after Valentine's, we're still
that's
sharing the
right.
love.
We're still sharing the love. And I think, it's a crazy time. It's a crazy time everywhere in the world. But I think when we do things like this, when we share our creativity, it allows us to concentrate on the things that we have in common, the things
Yes.
that we can all agree on, that we can all be excited about, that we can share the love about. And hopefully, at least for a few minutes, a few hours, it lets everything else kind of slide away and we can focus on that instead.
Yes, agreed. Absolutely. It's I figured the one thing I can control in the world. I can't control
That's right.
much, but what I do in my sewing room, yes, that's my domain. The
That's
outside
right.
world, stay away. Yes.
All right. Well,
Well,
as
thank you
always,
so much. This has been absolutely wonderful.
thanks everybody. And we will see you so soon.
Yes, exactly. We will see you next month, Thursday, March 21st at 3 p.m.
Okay.
Eastern.
All righty.
Lovely. Thank you, everyone, so much.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.